Right guys, got a new video for you. We're going to be talking about my new training split. So keep on posting about it, keep on mentioning it. Yes, we are coming to the end of the cut. So what that means for me is we're going to be doing 4 weeks of reverse dieting. So we'll be going from a deficit to a maintenance over those 4 weeks, get my metabolism back, get my energy back, lower my cardio a little bit, lower my output a little bit, get myself back into a maintenance phase, maintenance calories, maintenance expenditure. And across those 4 weeks, we'll be gradually splitting and changing and moving the split. It's just going to be me growing as much as I can, basically. So we're going to be going from push pull legs, rest, to upper lower rest, upper lower shoulders and arms rest. But it's more like upper lower rest, upper lower upper rest, basically. So we're going to be going from 6 days a week to 5 days a week, and we're going to be sort of moving the days around it, but we'll end up with more work on everything. Somehow, we've gone from doing 6 days to doing 5 days, but we'll be getting more out of everything on those 5 days, basically. We're going to run you through the exercises that we've chosen here for these upper days, for these lower days, and for that last upper day of the week on the Saturday, which is more of a shoulders and arms focused day, but chest and back are still getting used in there. So upper day A, we start with a cable chest press, because this is the only press that my chest can do without getting ripped clean off the bone at the moment. So cable chest press, we'll be doing that nice and heavy for once. We'll be trying to get as strong as we can throughout this next off season. So we'll be starting off with perfect form, and we'll keep the form perfect, and we'll up the weight as much as we can across this off season. So that'll be brilliant. Then we move on the same machine to do a cable cuff chest fly. So we'll be keeping that bench on that stack of cables, and we'll be swapping the handles for cuffs, cuffing up on the elbows, doing a big old cable cross fly like that. I like the two back to back. It's what I do at the moment on my push day, on one of my push days. It really works, it's really nice, so I thought I'd keep that combo for the upper day moving forward. After that, we go and we do some cable rear delt flies. So obviously it's upper, so we're doing chest, back, a bit of shoulders and a bit of arms, but we're only really going to do 1 or 2 movements of each. Rear delt flies, I need to grow my rear delts. Everyone needs to grow their rear delts, so I'm not going to neglect them, but I'm going to throw them in after those chest flies. And then we'll be supersetting those rear delt flies with a single arm tricep press. So essentially I'll do a cable rear delt set, and then with the cuff on the same arm, we'll switch it into a cable tricep press. And then we'll swap arm, we'll do a cable rear delt set, swap it, and we'll do a cable tricep press. So that way I sort of do a 2 for 1, and then each arm gets a rest in between the superset, so I won't need to do minutes in between, because I'll do the right arm. By the time the rear delt's recovered from doing the left tricep, we should be good to go again, so that'll be a real time save. And then we will hop on to doing a cable chest supported row. So chest on a bench, big old swoop, big old row. That might change. I feel like as we go up, those cable stacks only go so heavy. The dumbbells only go so heavy, so I can't really do a dumbbell row. So that might be the one exercise I change for a T-bar row or something like that, where the sky's the limit in terms of how many plates I can put on the bar. But for now, it will be a cable row, and then once we max that out again with a gym pin and 220s, we'll go on to a T-bar row. And then we will do a cable chest supported lat row. So that's, bench on chest, and we do a lat row like that, because the gym I'm in at the moment doesn't have one that I like. I do it with cables. If we get one that we do like when we move, I'll be using that. The green machine that does that movement doesn't do it quite as nicely as the cable, but again, if we get to the point where we're stacking it with the gym pin and 220s, we'll go and we'll just do single arm on the lat pull down instead. And then we will move on to do some dumbbell lateral raises. We've got to get some shoulders in there, don't we? And we will finish off on preacher curls. So that's a tricep exercise, a bicep exercise, a shoulder exercise, 2 chest exercises, 2 back exercises, and a rear delt exercise. So a bit of everything. It's going to be a little bit lower volume than I am now on the cut, a much higher intensity, so I might drop off a set on everything, up the weight on everything, and the whole point is going to be just lifting as heavy as I can by the end of this off season on all of these movements. So I'm choosing movements that I know I've got room to grow on, and choosing movements where it's really easy to grow on, it's practical to put weight and plates on, and it's not going to increase the risk of injury. So that's upper day A, and then we will look at upper day B, which is a lot less cable, a lot more free weight. So upper day A is like cables, very braced, very supported, and we'll be doing the chest first and then the back kind of thing. And then the upper day B is the opposite, where it's going to be very heavy free weight compounds actually loading, and we'll start with the back. So that way I'll do the upper day A, which isn't axial loading, and then I'll do the lower day A, which is axial loading, and then I'll do the upper day B, which is axial loading, and I'll do the lower day B, which isn't axial loading. So one lower day is going to hit my CNS more, and one upper day is going to hit my CNS more, but not all four of them. So I've got sort of like a cable-based upper day and a cable-based lower day that aren't next to each other, and I've got a free weight-based lower day and a free weight-based upper day that aren't next to each other, so my back has a bit of a rest in between, basically. But upper day B, the hardcore one, start off with some bent over barbell rows. Sky's the limit on those for progressive overload. I'm on there, you know. I will be doing 4 or 5 plates by the end of this off season on those barbell rows, and then we'll go straight into barbell curls. I really like that, same way as I like the cable chest press into the cable fly. Barbell rows into barbell curls just feels really great. Great pump on the arms, you know, time saving, same bit of equipment, just take off some plates, don't need to move around the gym. Then we go into a barbell incline bench press. This is the one I'm not sure about, because obviously I've got issues with pressing. So it might be a case where instead of barbell incline press, it might have to be barbell incline Smith press, or potentially I'll find a plate loaded incline chest press machine that I can progress on that I really like, or something to that akin. But at the moment it's barbell incline press, and if I do that for a few weeks and it just feels awful to load, then I will change it. Obviously this is all subject to change, but that is the plan at the moment. The barbell incline press will then do barbell JM press, John Meadows press for the triceps. Great exercise. I mean, the sky's the limit for triceps on those. I don't know if you can ever max out a barbell on a JM press, so we'll have those in the mix. And then we will be doing a superset of the reverse pec deck and the regular pec deck. So we'll be hitting our rear delts, swapping the handles, hitting our chest. Great time saver. I like a superset. Antagonist superset saves time. Then we will be doing the underhand lat pull down. This is great for the rear delts, for the back, for the buys. Obviously this is the bi heavy axial loading upper day, so we're getting more biceps in there. And we'll finish off with some crucifix lateral raises, which is going to be on the bench, lying down, cuff, boom, like that. Great for the medials. Get those shoulders up. So yeah, we've got more back focus on here. Looks like we've got 2 back exercises, bicep exercise, rear delt exercise, shoulder exercise, 2 chest exercises. It's great. It's the same as upper day A in the sort of the amount of exercises, the time we'll be spending in the gym, but it's just a lot more heavy duty, heavy lifting. So we'll move on and we'll have a look at lower day A, which is going to be for these legs, obviously. Lower day, grow those legs. Start off with adductors and abductors in a superset. The machine's built for you to go out and then in, and I need to grow all of those, so why not? Get nice and warm. Straight into some RDLs, Romanian deadlifts. These aren't going to stop being in my program. I've not plateaued on them yet, still working on them, still putting more and more weight on them. So hopefully, you know, we'll be absolutely cooking up those hamstrings. Then we'll do a pin loaded leg press. So I don't have to fanny around with putting plates on and off, you know, spending all the time in the gym loading the weights up. Pin loaded leg press, and then if I start getting to the point where I max that out, I'll do single leg pin loaded leg press, or even with the pin loaded leg press, single leg, put one leg on the floor, so it's more like a lunge, because that leg can help support a bit. And then we will hop and we'll do some laying hamstring curls, single leg, double leg. I'm not sure whether I want to do both at once or one at a time for more sort of focus mind muscle wise, but if I start just racking the machine with both legs, it will have to be single leg anyway, which it is at the moment. So it'll probably be single leg laying hamstring curls, and then we'll do single leg seated leg extensions. So obviously, you know, rack the machine, you have to do one leg at a time. What can you do? And I'll do some seated hamstring curls, because, you know, we need to grow our hamstrings. This is the hamstring day. And then we'll do some calves, so donkey calf raises and some seated calf raises. And while I'm on that pin loaded leg press, I might also do some calf raises on there as well. So get a good helping of calves. We move on to the lower day B, which is obviously that day was for the hamstrings, this day's for the quads. We're starting off with the adductors and the abductors again on that little machine. Why not? God intended it to be that way. Then we hop into the hack squat. Currently not able to do hack squats, or not doing them at the moment while I'm on the cut because of the injury to my adductor, the pectineus that I've pulled on the adductor, but he'll be back hopefully by the time we start the reverse diet and the cut. And across those 4 weeks, if we just gradually warm up the hack squat, we should be ready to absolutely get into the full swing of things when the off season starts. Then we'll do Bulgarian split squats. I mean, we're trying to grow our quads. This is the quad day, this is the quad exercise, this is the killer. We'll then do some seated leg extensions, probably single leg again, with the pad nice and far back, big old stretch on those quads. Into some seated hamstring curls, single leg, double leg, probably single leg again if I'm not exhausted. And then we will do some more seated leg extensions on a different leg extension machine. And I'll probably put the pad really far forward instead of really far backward and just focus on the lockout. So that would be sort of two different types of extensions. But if that feels like I'm doing too many extensions, I might swap that for a walking lunge or some form of other lunge, but just something quaddy and something hardcore. And then we'll do some calves, seated calf raises, donkey calf raises, wash. That'll be the lower day. And then the last day of the week on the Saturday, so upper lower rest, upper lower shoulders and arms rest. This is sort of the shoulder and arm upper, because there is still a little bit of back and there is still a little bit of chest, but not directly, if that makes any sense. So we'll explain here. So we're starting off with a single arm cable lateral raise, because we've done a couple different shoulder exercises. I don't want to do the same thing twice on any of these workouts other than the adductors and the abductors, but we'll do our single arm cable lateral raise. And then we will do an exercise I have not done in absolutely ages, years and years, a dumbbell overhead press. I know I don't do any pressing for my shoulders at the moment, so I just thought, let's see how it goes. Let's see if there is any change to the shape of my shoulders. If I start incorporating some overhead press, maybe it's for the better, maybe it doesn't do anything, maybe my shoulders all of a sudden get problems and then I can cut it out and not try it again. But I just thought it would be interesting to see what they look like after doing some heavy pressing for an off season. We'll do some face pulls and some upright rows in a superset. That's where I say the back's getting hit a little bit, but this is more like detail of the back, the face pulls and the upright rows. They're not quite, it's like rear delty, it's like upper backy, trappy, and shoulder mobility wise as well. I feel like my shoulders and arms, I'm not doing anything like this for them. So those are two new exercises I'm going to try out as well. If it feels awful, face pulls and upright rows, I'll just throw them out and put something else in. And then we will do tricep dips. So as I said, the chest is getting used a little bit. It's going to be a dip, basically free weight dip with some plates dangling off of me, but with a narrower grip. Tricep dips, I have pulled my tricep doing that recently. So I have a tricep injury at the moment as well as an adductor injury. So I can't do any dipping at the moment, and I'm limited on what kind of tricep work I can do at the moment. But when that's back, we'll be back to doing those heavy dips. And then we will do chin-ups for the biceps. I said, obviously the back's getting hit a little bit on a chin-up as well. And ideally, I'd like to be able to superset the two, so I can have the weight dangling off of me, do the dips, waddle over to the chin-up bar, do the chin-ups with the same weight dangling off of me. So that would be really handy to save some time and not have to move those plates on and off and on and off. And then we will do a superset between the dumbbell bicep curl and the dumbbell skull crusher. If I put the bench on the incline like that, I can do my skull crushers, and then I can literally flip the weights and do some bicep curls, and then when the biceps get tired, flip them back and do like 2 little mini sets and then a break and then 2 little mini sets, and that should be those absolutely cooked. And then I will do another superset with cable bicep curls and cable overhead tricep extensions. So I'll do that with some cables, and then I'll spin around and I'll do that with the same set of cables. So some nice antagonistic supersets, some time savers, lots of exercises, lots of detail, hitting lots of muscles in different ways. And if it feels like I'm doing too many exercises, I'll drop the ones I like the least, or I'll drop the ones that I'm lifting the least on, because the goal is going to be to progressively overload as much as I can, to get as strong as I can, to lift as much weight as I can in one off season. So if we were to write down what last off season was, I'm not really sure. It was all about growing, obviously, but I feel like I might have been lost in the weeds, you know, seeing the trees from the forest kind of thing. And I do realise now I still have room to grow in terms of strength on all of my compounds. So I need to look at the compound exercises going up. So the barbell rows, big focus. Incline bench press, big focus. Hack squat, big focus. RDL, big focus. Overhead dumbbell shoulder press, if I can switch that for overhead barbell shoulder press, that'll be a big focus as well. You know, there's plenty. Barbell rows, didn't even mention those, big focus on those. Anything with the bar in my hand that's a heavy compound, JN press, barbell curls, preacher skull crushers if I start throwing them in. Anything where you can literally see like the plates on the side of the bar going as you go from like a 2 to a bigger plate of a 5 to a bigger plate of a 10, and then another 2, and then a 5, and then a 10, and then another 2, and a 5, and a 10, and then all of a sudden it becomes like, I've got too many 10s on this preacher curl, so I'm going to use a 20, and then a 5 in it, that kind of thing. That's the plan, roughly. All of it is depending on the weights, the physique, the composition, how fast, how slow I go. That's the split that we are going to currently work off of, make changes to, possibly, but it will all be about lifting more and more weight. It is 8 exercises or more, 8 exercises sort of including supersets as one exercise. Some of those days it's 9 exercises or 10, but we're supersetting things and we're sort of comboing things up, so it is quite a lot, and it might be too much just off of my initial, you know, gauge, but I wanted to put a lot of things in there to try, and then things that I don't like or I don't progress on, just cut them off, and it will be like a nil-sum game for this off season, where it's like what works, keep, what doesn't work, cut, and grow on the things that work as best as I can. That is the program we'll be running. We'll be trying to grow as much as we can until 2027, basically. So I'll keep uploading vlogs like this. I'll keep uploading short form content with tips. You can ask me anything, DMs, Instagram, wherever you want to ask. I will answer your questions. I put them in my FAQ videos. I'll just give you a little minute response to it. Doesn't matter. I won't put your name and I won't put your face in the videos. Don't worry, I'm not that guy. There is no stupid questions to ask. And then obviously me waffling at a camera like this for probably 15 minutes gone now is a great way for me to sort of unpack what I've got planned, put it into words, listen to it again, make sure it's like confirmed and true, even copy the transcript into ChatGPT and say like, does this sound like a sensible off season? And he'll be there like, no, or he'll be there like, maybe, and then adjust it based off of that. But it's just good to know where I am up to in my own head as well by speaking to myself. So that's where we're going to leave it. So thank you. If you want to copy along and do this upper lower rest, upper lower shoulders and arms rest split, I mean, good luck to you, but I hope it's good enough for me. If it's good enough for me, it should be good enough for you. But obviously I've been training for a long time. My recovery is pretty good. My execution is pretty good. My understanding of my own body is pretty good. So this probably isn't beginner friendly. This is definitely like a hardcore advanced program. But if you want to give it a go, you know, let me know how it goes. I will peace out now, baby.